Working with dreams is how the entire field of psychotherapy got started because they reveal so much about our own deep inner workings. Prehistoric humans, tribal people, and other cultures had been working with their dreams long before that. But psychotherapy, as we know it, began with working with one's dreams as a way of gaining insight into an individual's psyche well beyond what was being presented. We've learned a lot about dreams since those early days through the various dream labs that now speckle the globe. And amongst what we've learned is that the majority of images in our dreams are very personal, meaning they are created and selected by our dream maker just for us, cleverly drawing upon our personal experiences, encounters, wishes, desires, and fears. Your dream maker uses these feelings and memories to produce an image or set of images that will communicate something to you specifically through the associations your particular psyche has about them. Honestly, one of the reasons I so enjoy working with people on their dreams is that in doing so, I get to see an essence that is so particular to that person. It's like seeing their soul's poetic code or signature. It's really beautiful. Now, since the large majority of characters and images in your dreams will be personal, will be created just for you, it's rarely helpful to use dream dictionaries or Google to get to the meaning or message of a dream. Rather, to understand your dream, you'll need to turn inward to the feelings, intuitions, and memory associations they bring up in you. You have to look in and trust what you feel and trust the associations you're making. Those intuitive associations will be coming from the same place as the dream came from. It can take some time to learn this art form, and a little guidance from someone who has experience with dreams can be really helpful. But the most important thing I want you to understand here is that the answers are inside you, not outside. In fact, one of the greatest benefits of working with your dreams is to learn to turn inward for the wisdom we need, to learn to be more inwardly guided. Now, some images in our dreams are archetypal, meaning they hold a universal meaning across time and space. Archetypal images reveal timeless truths about the yearnings, fears, and aspirations common to all of us as human beings, and as such, are the basis of many myths, other dreams, and stories. There are ways to identify archetypal images, which I'll talk about another time. But again, the point I'm wanting to make here today is that the vast majority of images are personal and require an inward turn, not an outward turn. So let me give you one example. One dreamer of mine dreamt that a bat bit her forehead and was hanging down in front of her face. And in the dream, the dreamer felt torn between removing the bat, since his teeth were still in her and pulling him out could hurt, and letting him stay there until it was time for him to go, she said. And at the time, this dreamer had been doing some shadow work with me, particularly around things that weren't allowed expression in her childhood. So as we held this dream together, she shared with me that there were lots of bats in the woods where she grew up, and she wasn't allowed to touch them because they carry so many diseases. But she loved animals, and so sometimes, although forbidden, she would go and touch their soft little bellies anyway while they were asleep. She felt that the bat in the dream represented a thing of darkness and something considered diseased and forbidden in childhood. It represented the shadow side that she'd been exploring with me in her inner work. The forehead to her represented third eye insight, and her non-reactive response to this bat in the dream that was literally in her face, her willingness to let him stay there until the time came for him to go, was reflecting the new openness and acceptance that she'd been feeling towards her shadow side and her shadow work in general. And the gift of this dream was and still is a memorable image that is charged with feeling for her, and that continues to remind her that not only is there no more looking away from the shadow side, as the shadow side is literally right in front of her face in both the dream and in waking life, but that there's also a soft belly to the shadow side, which meant that the things about herself she considered forbidden may not be so bad after all. She had a lot of feelings about that. And the felt experience that this dream brought her to is an essential part of why this image was so healing, affirming, and encouraging to her. The felt experience is where psycho-emotional healing and transformation really begins. It's where something begins to shift from deep inside beyond the cognitive level. Another thing the image did for her was reinforce the more relaxed and open attitude towards her shadow work that she was starting to come into. In the months that followed, it really helped her stay soft and open to her shadow work, and that made that shadow work even more effective. All of this in one perfect image designed just for her, drawing upon her personal experiences and associations. And because she tended the dream, she was able to receive that gift. So, all that to say, if you're working with a dream, the most important thing to do first is tune into your own feelings about each image and the collection of images as a whole. Notice what memories and associations come to heart and mind, and see if you can start putting some pieces together. Don't turn to Google or a dream dictionary. I've been working with dreams for over 15 years now, and I continue to be moved and astonished by the poetic nature and the sheer cleverness of each person's dream maker, this eternal creator within each of us spinning up gifts of insight and encouragement. So if you'd like to learn the art of dream tending with me, please follow the links to my dream tending course offerings below. I host a special online group dream tending course every winter during the winter holiday season when our attention is naturally turned a little more inward, and when deep feelings of family tend to be in the air and we tend to dream more. There's also a self-guided immersion that you can enter any time of the year, and both versions include live calls with me to tend a few dreams together so that you can be exposed to the art of the practice, and learn how to apply all the lessons that I share with you in the course itself in very practical ways. So I hope that's helpful, and I hope you will tune in to that very generous nighttime teacher. Sweet dreams.